The established monetary system is one of the most contrived, manipulated, and corrupted social systems to ever come into existence. Generation after generation, societies become disillusioned by money and look upon its structural application to life on the planet with a complete state of content and naivety. Day by day, when people across the world enter their places of employment, money becomes an unquestionable thing, and the need to stay alive and to financially make ends meet is a priority. This is society's ultimate distraction from considering new, progressive ideas and concepts which can positively transform the planet for the benefit of everyone on Earth. Hostility towards new ideas is commonplace, and psychologically, people prefer their reinforced notions of life. If you've lived in a monetary system for the whole of your life, you're bound to feel emotionally hostile towards a certain initiative which could cause disruption to your personal identity, your occupation, and generally your whole way of thinking. If we take a look at how society's psychology is made up in a monetary system, we can see clearly that the main motivator for many people who have been conditioned by money itself is the concept of the profit motive. It has been said for many years that man's motivator to want to do something comes at a price. Problems can only be solved if money can be made from it. Now, the additional costs of achieving, maintaining universal access to basic education worldwide, basic healthcare for all, reproductive healthcare for all women, adequate food for all, and safer water and sanitation for all is roughly $40 billion a year. This is less than 4% of the combined wealth of the 225 richest people in the world. And this data was provided by the United Nations Development Report in 1998. Now, taking this into account, $40 billion seems like a very small amount of money if every country in the world contributed to such a cause. And the truth is that global poverty is a problem that cannot be profitable to solve. You would end up losing money for the benefits of a certain society in extreme levels of deprivation, which is obviously something the money system cannot and will not promote. We can have all the charities we want, but these institutions, although very altruistic, do not get to the root cause of the problem at hand, and the root cause is money. A profit motive also brings about competitive behaviours in the marketplace. Some would say that this is a good thing and a benefit to the progression of society. While it is reasonable to say that competition in the market is good for industries to progress and update industrial and technological ideas, it also comes at a negative cost to the environment. As an example, you have many mobile phone companies at the moment, all competing to create the best and most affordable device for the market. Think about all of the wasted resources and manpower that goes into this competitive ideology, when it is logically much more efficient to encourage cooperation, to share ideas, and to work together to create the best mobile phone that we as human beings can create using the best and most up-to-date technologies available. The incentive in this example would be to produce a contribution to society as a whole. Now, of course, this rational kind of thinking is not permitted in the money system because profit is priority and human concern is secondary to this. On the topic of motivation, some may think that it is in our nature to compete. But this level of thinking does not take into account the thousands of years of scarcity that has been in our environments whilst living on Earth. The environment shapes our behaviour and values towards others. Think back to when you were a small child. Think how curious you were and how you constantly interacted with your environment, building new neural connections without a monetary profit incentive. You carried out these interactions with your environment freely, with no money considered. Our natural curiosity to do things and to discover new ideas is immediately stripped away when you've grown up into an adult, being further compounded by money when thinking about your actions and what to do in life. A lot of people base their opinions of human nature on zero scientific evidence, and the very fact that we, as human beings, have a large cerebral cortex of the brain, capable of learning new behaviours, goes very far in understanding how the environment around us impacts on our psychology. The very nature of money itself is mathematically and logically unsustainable. We have an economy that is based on a fantasy of infinite growth on a finite planet. Our current social system does not take into account the fact that we live on a planet with limited resources, and what we actually need is a social system that can intelligently manage the Earth's resources not just for one country, but for all the world's people. Capitalism reinforces constant consumption again and again and again, without ever pausing to consider the planet and our well-being. It would take more than 5 Earths to be able to sustain the world population if everyone consumed resources at the same rate as the United States, according to the New Economics Foundation. Constant consumption is all done in the name of profit, and as previously discussed, profit is a complete contrivance and irrelevant to human progression. There is another way, a different direction, which takes into account the environment, sustainability, human well-being, and eliminating poverty and deprivation.